Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Welcome back to our podcast, video, chat, whatever you want to call it. So many different options there, whatever.
Yep.
Um, so today, are y'all ready to rumble? Fresh off
Let's do
today,
now. We got to do it. We got to do it right. Ready? Are you ready? Are you
are
ready
you
to?
ready to rumble?
This is like the I can't believe that, we're even talking about this, to be honest with you. This is insane to me how
Yeah.
people,
Nowadays people have short tempers, and again, I don't have you on my Bluetooth speaker, so I'm gonna try to talk a little softer so I can hear you. Um,
okay.
because my laptop doesn't have the greatest speaker on it, and I didn't want to overwhelm with the loudspeaker. So,
Gotcha.
as many of y'all can probably tell, this episode is about fighting and brawling on cruises. What happens, what could happen, and some just information regarding fighting and
Yeah.
brawling on cruises. So,
Which, I mean, do you feel like I felt like we had a hard time finding information on it? Like I was telling you today, like I was hoping that there would be people YouTubing or whatever their side of the story,
mhm,
and kind of giving their take on what happened. But realistically, I have scanned so many videos and not seen anything. It's just the videos of people who've witnessed it, and then people
right.
talking about it. But I mean, I wish there was some, if anybody's brought on a cruise ship, get on there and put a YouTube channel out there so we can know why.
Something. I know we talked about also today during our lunch break. If you're with a group of people, your family, friends, whatever it may be, and say you're in your cabin sleeping, and some people in your party are out there brawling and fighting, does everybody get kicked off, or just the ones that were causing the disruption?
Right. Like that's a very good question now, because I basically said we are BFFs, okay? But you start brawling, I'm continuing my trip. You're gonna find your own ass a ride home.
You're like,
But
see ya.
yeah, I'll be like, see ya. But of course, if it's your, kids, or, kids being stupid, things like that, I mean, you're gonna have to get off with your kids and things,
Of
but
course.
and I would probably beat their butts all the way out the cruise ship. But because you
Ruining
ruined
my
my
vacation like that.
vacation. But do you get banned? Even though
Right.
you get booted off with your family, do you also get banned? Again, that was information that we struggled to come across, is finding this information, which is kind of silly and crazy with the world and internet, and everybody's got
Right.
a phone in their hands. You'd think that there would be some more information about that. But so I do have a video I want to show you. Of this one was 8 months ago on the Royal Caribbean. We'll kind of just chat about it real quick while it's playing. So
Okay.
let me go ahead and add it, and then let me go over here. So can you see it?
I can definitely see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. It's blurry, but unfortunately, so these people weren't playing. I mean, they literally were, they were knockout, drag out. Like, look at that guy. I mean, he's like literally trying to like choke the man out. I
And
don't know
and
what
who was this
happened.
person recording? I mean, is this somebody that was affiliated with them, or is this just a innocent bystander? I mean,
Right. Well, and there again, if you're just an innocent bystander and you get somehow or another pulled into this, what happens? And that's the thing, because I mean, they're all over the place, and then there's people in there, just trying to, break it up or things like that. I mean, that girl right there. But it's just crazy. Like what sparked this? What caused? Oh, good, it's not blurry anymore. But I do feel like these cruise ships are not fully trained to handle these situations if they get out of control, because some of these staff, they're really, really small. Look at that guy in the back by the door. He was a big
Yeah,
guy. He's probably 6'3", like
yeah,
250. These staff are not prepared for that kind of stuff, but it just keeps escalating. It's like they won't stop. And
yeah.
it's one thing to get into a little argument, but it's like they just kept going and going and going. And it was like unbelievable. I mean, look, they had to like close the glass on them, but um, yeah. And then of course everybody's got to. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, okay. Let's just show off now that there was a big
yeah,
old fight. That's lovely.
yeah. Guess what? You're getting kicked off that cruise ship, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so that's it.
You know,
So but do your
for
do your dance because you're getting off that boat.
well, my whole thing is everybody's short tempered. You mix alcohol with that, a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Um, there's jealousy that strikes. There's somebody smarting off that can
Mm-hmm.
spark a fight.
Yep.
And believe it or not, that was not a carnival brawl.
That was
She said it at the
not.
beginning, it's Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, it's Royal Caribbean.
So
So everybody's always like, "Oh, it's just Carnival." No, even though Carnivals got labeled over the years, the party ship, that doesn't
or
mean
Walmart of cruises.
right. I mean, when we went on our first, the Freedom, I mean, it was so boring. I was like, okay, where's the party? I really thought I was going to be like the dud of the group, and I couldn't. There was nothing to do. But fighting just doesn't even. I don't understand. But I do have a question for you. What do you think about this? If since the pandemic, do you think that people do you feel that people don't have the patience and have become antisocial, having minimal
Yeah.
social skills anymore? And
Oh
because
yeah.
I I mean, and I'm not saying that there was never brawls or fights on a cruise ship prior to the pandemic, but I feel like even driving down the road today, it's people just have like the patience of a gnat.
Zero tolerance.
Yeah, and there is no tolerance for you sitting 2 seconds longer at a light, you know.
Right.
And so I do feel like that's been a huge battle, everywhere, not just on cruise lines, but everywhere. So,
I agree. And as many carnival cruises I've been on, I can honestly say I've never once saw a fight on one of the ships I was on ever.
well,
Um, they get a bad
never,
rap. I mean, Carnival does get a bad rap, but it doesn't just happen on Carnival.
no.
It can happen on any ship.
Now we did hear and it was between a husband and a wife. We had two cruises. The Freedom, which a husband and wife were out in the middle of the area, right outside of, I think, Red Frog, and they were just yelling at each other. And but the staff handled that quickly and got them. But they weren't throwing blows at each other though. They were just yelling. And then the second one was when we went to Aruba. We were standing on the eighth deck watching, looking out at the water. It was nighttime. Not even 24. It was the first night. Not even 24 hours into the vacation, and someone chunks off their lotion and all their whole bag full of like sunscreen, and it landed
Really?
literally. There was us and then another couple, and it landed like right next to them. If they had got pelted in the head with that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. But they ended up putting those people off in Aruba when we got there. So because they
And
no
so
tolerance for that.
so keep in mind you're paying depending on what cruise you go, what cruise line you do,
Hmm.
what itinerary you're doing, depending on how much money you spent.
Hmm.
If you get caught brawling on a ship, they're going to put you off. They're going to
Hmm.
disembark you, whether they put you in cruise jail until they get to the next port,
Yep.
or you're already in port and they just kick you off. You're
Yeah.
out that money. They're not going to reimburse you.
Right.
And you could get
Exactly.
banned for life from that cruise ship.
Yeah.
Is it
And,
really worth it?
is it worth it? No. I mean, especially if you're like us and half a billion other people in the world where we love cruising. And I couldn't imagine. You're not going to ruin my vacation. I mean, just walk away.
Yeah.
Oh, I did forget. So, when we were on the Harmony of the Seas, there was a guy who was acting a fool and he was really, really intoxicated and he grabbed my arm and he was wanting to try to get people up on
Oh yeah.
stage with him.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember that.
and Bobby was literally like, "Don't touch my wife again." And and he made the comment, like, "I'll kick your ass," kind of thing, because the guy was real belligerent. Well, he lost his drink package for the evening. Woohoo. I mean, he had enough. But we also lost our drink package for 24 hours because of that. And, because Bobby's like, "I'm just defending my wife," like he didn't like act on it, but because he said
Right.
that words, and it was like, oh my God. But I mean, Bobby's like, I wouldn't have, I mean, we would have got security for sure. But they don't seem like they were not there and present. They were watching this man do all of these things, running around, touching people, and they didn't do anything about it. And it was like, okay, but you could have brought that escalation down from the get-go by making him go to his room or whatever. But you just sat back and watched it.
See, nowadays I think it's just like along the same facts of like we talked to a crew member on one of the cruises we were on a while back, and we complained to him because this is when teenagers were running up and down the hall and knocking on everybody's door, and it was irritating the
Mhm.
crap out of me.
Yeah,
And I would go out there every time they passed my hall, and I was going to say something. I don't have a problem saying anything.
right.
Um, Ed's like, no, don't say anything. You'll get us in trouble. Blah blah blah. And so talking to the crew member, I said, "Can't y'all do something about that? I mean, it's
Yeah,
disrespectful." And they're like, "Well, we really can't say anything because
right.
stuff like that because it's like, what?
I don't understand that. And that's where I feel like you guys, again, could bring the escalation down if you had a little bit more leeway with that, like not allowed certain behaviors to continue because you can't put your hands on somebody. If you're security and somebody's acting a certain way, by God, you should be able to put your hands on that person, and,
I
and
agree.
escort them right on out. But they
I agree.
don't. Yeah. And they literally will be like, "Oh, we can't really." So they're kind of soft in that area, where
I
they
agree.
really need to be a little bit more um, be security, be police, have
Right.
some kind of, because we are in the middle of the ocean, where, things can escalate and somebody could get so mad that they're, throw them off the boat, throw them off the ship. And then what happens, it just,
Yeah.
yeah, I wish security was better and they had better policies pertaining to disruptions.
And I think the security that's on there, because if you think about different crew members apply for different positions, I don't
Hmm.
know how trained the security is on a boat, but
Hmm.
maybe if they had cruise police, I mean, actual
Yeah,
police
actual
that work
police.
for the cruise line,
Yep.
then there shouldn't be an issue because a cop is allowed by
Yeah.
law. I don't know how it is in maritime. I don't know. Maybe it's different,
Right, and that's the thing. Yeah.
that fine line, but are they able to, you know, not
Yeah.
arrest somebody, but you know what I mean, kind of,
Right.
hold them back or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what
Just
the rules
be have
are.
a I guess, just be able to bring an escalated situation back down to a normal, let's go over here. What we're not going to do is stay here and bicker back and forth. We're going to remove you, and that way nobody will fight. But how do you, because people continue, obviously, like on that video, they just kept escalating it. It was like, they would break it up, but then they would start running back towards each other again. And it's like, how do you keep them away for the rest of the cruise?
Right. I wonder about that. I
Yeah.
really seriously wonder about that because, each side is probably egging each other on. Oh,
Yeah.
your mama, your mama, your mama, your mama, stuff like that. And it's just people take crap personally and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
um, it's not worth my time to lose my cruise or be banned from a cruise line. That's just
No.
me.
But there again, alcohol plays a major role, and people get, that liquid courage, and they think that they're, all of a sudden, Muhammad Ali, and they can fight now, and they, and then they have their family, backing them up, and saying their part, which again, somebody needs to be the adult in the situation and be like, okay, this has got to end. But
Yes.
day late and a dollar short for them, because every single one of them got booted off.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
now, question: would you ever get involved or try to break it up if you saw it happening?
Yeah. Yes and no. It
Okay.
all depends on the situation.
Okay.
Um, and it also depends on if I try to get in the middle of it to stop it, am I considered one of the people that was involved?
That's my point. Yeah.
It really
I
depends. It really
I
depends.
really feel like I would not, because of that. Because how now, granted, they will go back and look at the video. They do have video cameras everywhere, because in the situation where that guy was touching everybody, they explained to us, they pulled us in the security office, and they explained to us that they watched the video, they saw how he was acting, and it was inappropriate. And you know but of course they said, you can't take matters in your own hands, you need to call security. Okay, but if you don't do anything, then what's the
Right.
point in calling security? Because people did call security. I mean, now on the Harmony of the Seas, when I ran and got security because of that, they threw that bag off the balcony. They immediately took action. And it was funny because we were looking up, and the guy that was on deck like 14 or something like that, he was like, "Not me." He's like pointing up, like, "Don't come and get me." But he was like, "It came from up there." So, they had to figure it out. But, sometimes I guess just depending on the cruise, like how good security is. But I don't think I would get involved. I would be like, I'm gonna leave this
I mean, if it
situation.
involves somebody maybe in my family, maybe, but not to fight somebody to break it up, absolutely, but not to fight
Yeah.
anybody. I would never do that. But
I'd be like, I don't know who these people are.
I don't know you. Bye, I see you.
Man, they
Walk on
in
down the hall.
the room. Be
But
like,
think about it. You're on a ship again. I think we've said this before. You're on a ship with thousands of other people,
yeah.
hundreds of other people, whatever
Hmm.
size ship you're on at that point. Everybody has different personalities that have to intermingle
Yeah.
on a 5 to 7 day, maybe even longer cruise. Do I get annoyed with people? Sure. Do I give them looks like,
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. And we'll talk about you.
Do I
And
want
now
to
that we
slap
have a
some of them?
podcast,
Sure.
you're going on YouTube.
I'm not gonna be the one standing around filming it, I can tell you that.
Right.
But do I want to slap some of these people?
Yeah.
Would I do
Yeah.
it?
For inappropriate behavior and inappropriate dressing. Yeah.
I'm not
But
gonna
will
risk my
I? No,
vacation and being banned. No.
I'll go to another part of the ship, and enjoy the rest of my vacation. But,
And avoid
of
that
course,
person at all costs.
avoid that person. Yeah, it is definite for sure. But yeah. So, like, let's talk about the cost of being removed.
Okay.
If you are, of course, you've got to travel your butt back home. You've got accommodations, because that ain't going to be an immediate, let's go catch a flight right now.
Right.
Missed excursions, for you and your family, emotional stress. I mean, that's got to be very stressful for your entire family to now be displaced off of the ship, and now you're kind of in another, foreign place that you're not familiar with. Who do you go? Where do you go? That's stressful, but they don't think about that.
And who wants to go through all that? Not this girl.
No, that's why I said you're on your own, BFF.
That's right. Why do you keep bringing me up? You act like I'm the instigator around here.
It's you. Oh God, but yeah,
Like,
and
what, have my back? What's wrong with you?
can you think of anything else about the, like the cost of that?
No, I mean, because like I said, you'll lose your cruise fare. If you have excursions, you're not getting those back. Your
Mm-mm.
flight, you got to pay for a flight to get out of there, a hotel stay, a rental car. I mean,
Yeah,
you're going to be out quite a bit of money.
mega money.
I don't know statistically exactly what it would cost, but I'm sure it's a pretty penny that you
Yeah,
didn't expect on having to pay.
yeah. And then
And
what
plus that
happens?
if somebody gets hurt.
That too, then you've got, lawsuits and things like that, because, Royal, or not Royal Caribbean, but any of the cruise lines, if you are considered to be, you were a true victim and you got injured in the process of a fight, supposedly they'll pay and they'll compensate the victims and pay for legal defense and things like that, probably so that you don't sue them, but most likely they're going to get sued regardless, especially if somebody gets injured in that, because of course, the security is lax and they can't, do anything. And really, because if you noticed in that video, they didn't really put their hands on these people,
No, it was just more like,
like I'm going to shuffle you backwards and close the door.
right.
So what? And I just don't think that they're prepared. They really do need to go through better training themselves so that they can know how to de-escalate the situation to the best of their ability. And, I mean, carry some handcuffs. I'm sure plenty of people on the cruise ship have handcuffs.
I wonder why.
So just
Are you
saying.
speaking from experience?
I mean, maybe the fluffy ones. But,
You're too funny. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Is there anything else you want to discuss about this or?
Let's see, if you do get booted off, due to fighting, the best thing to do is to contact the port official, I guess, and start there. Though they should be able to help you out. But, part of me wants to be like, sorry, figure it out. But so
Exactly.
what happens if you only brought your birth certificate and you have to get off the boat and the ship and you have to fly back with a passport? Most of those places, anytime you fly in,
You have to have that.
so what I wonder, and of course I couldn't find anything online about it, like, do you have to apply for, apply for it and
you probably
hope it?
get like a temporary visa or something like that. But yeah, it's very difficult to be able to fly out of a foreign country wherever you're at back to the United States without having proper identification.
Yeah.
So think about that before you start your next fight. Make sure you have a passport.
Or make sure you have a passport and don't bring your birth certificate, just in case you're one of those people that just can't hold their liquor and just have fun. That's the whole purpose of cruising, is to just literally, have fun, dance. I mean, if somebody pisses you off, walk away. Just walk away.
Buy him a drink. Say, hey, man, I'm good. Let me buy you a drink.
Yeah. Like, come on, what the hell is wrong with people? But yeah, so, but yeah, that's pretty much, again, I wish we had better video or something of some people talking about it and what escalated them to that point. But I have yet, maybe one, if I find something, we can go back and kind of do a part two.
It.
But I'll still kind of look and see. I mean, there's got to be something. I mean, there's everything on YouTube.
Everything's on the internet. Everything. It's just taking the time because you can sit there and spend hours looking for this stuff, and
Yeah. Yep.
eventually it'll come
Exactly.
around.
Yeah. And just don't fight. My God, just enjoy it and have fun. But yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you want
Don't
to do the
sweat the small stuff.
trivia? Huh?
Sure. Yeah, and this is kind of a fun trivia question in light of the whole fighting thing. Let me get that off there. So, this trivia question is, which cruise line features a Ben and Jerry's themed room, aka called the Cow Butt Cabin? It's
But
named it's named this because of an obstructed view of two cows' behinds in your window. So let us know. I know now because I did the research, but anyways, that's the trivia for next week, and we'll give you the answer then. And our next episode, we're going to discuss jumpers, whether they
yeah.
do it for fun or
Like,
other
and we
dark reasons.
know, yeah, we know it's more mental, but yeah, it's a sad thing to even have to bring up, as well as just like the fighting. But
Right.
did it say on that
Um,
trivia question what cruise line? Is that what it's
yeah, which
asking?
cruise line?
Okay,
Yeah, which cruise line?
because when we
Now,
found
if you wanted to get more technical and kind of find out, like, let me go to that page here before did I keep it there? Yeah, I did. Okay. If you want to get more technical, it's got, there's a little perks that go along with it.
okay, okay.
If you choose this particular room on this particular ship, there are perks involved.
Let's see if
So
we
I'll
ever
tell
go
you about
on
that.
that particular ship. I will need to do some research, and I'm gonna need to see this.
Yeah, and I will get a picture of it,
Yeah,
and kind of show
yeah, what
ideas
it
of what
looks
it
like.
is.
Cool.
Yeah, and give you guys like a little treat there. Being we're talking about fighting, we wanted to kind of enlighten it up a little bit.
Yeah,
So that's going to be for next week's trivia, and the next subject is jumpers. Unfortunately, I hate to talk about it, but we need to
yeah.
talk about it in
But
today's
again,
society.
it is a thing. So unfortunately, but yeah, if everybody please like, subscribe, go visit our page, our YouTube, TikTok. We're trying to get on TikTok. I think we're giving up on
We're not doing
Instagram.
Instagram, so we nixed that one.
Can't figure it out. Anyway, so but yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share some information if you've ever, seen a fight or a brawl on the cruise ship, share your experience and your story with us. So, maybe they
Oh,
have some
absolutely. Y'all have
insight.
trivia questions for us? Bring them on. I kind of want to do like a live Q&A with some viewers, but until we get more established, I don't think too many
Yeah.
people would tune in and do that. So we'll give them a little bit on that one.
We're going to try
So
to do some live. We're going to try to do live on TikTok at some point. So we'll see.
yes, maybe
But
not on our cruise. So we'll see.
yeah. We'll do that. So
So
absolutely.
anything else, Melissa?
Nothing else I can think of.
Okay, well, we will see you guys next week. And always remember, tune in, get your fix, and cruise on. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you
Bye.
later. Bye.